J-E-T-S,
Good job today, man. It's one at a time, and we'll get the job done. Y'all know what to say. On three. 1, 2, 3.
and the home of the Jets.
Good evening, everybody, from a very steamy New Jersey where it is 98 degrees at friggin' 8 o'clock at night. And we have a channel favorite, the only man out of all our subscribers that actually direct messages me and says, when is my interview? I'm ready to talk Jets. You're the only guy that does that. My good friend, Gangrene Stevo. How you doing, man?
What's up, Tyson? How we doing today?
Where have you been, man? Because now what's interesting is you want your own exclusive interview tonight, but you haven't been called in over the last 3 months. Where you been?
No, it's just, listen, I've been very, very busy with keeping up things. Recently I had my older brother who got married earlier in the year. I ended up moving actually recently, just a month ago. So I was taking care of all that stuff. And, I actually just recently became a godfather recently.
Oh, wow.
So
Are you still powerlifting and moving weights around or what?
Yeah, been doing all that now. I actually have where I now live is that we have our own gym now here. So I've
you're
got my own
fancy.
gym now here.
So how many days a week you working out?
I'm usually there about 5 days a week.
Wow, 5 days a week?
Yeah.
Damn. That's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So now do you realize that the Jets have a new head coach?
Yes, I do.
Do you like him?
And obviously, I know I've asked you about him before. You said he was one of your favorite players growing up.
He was.
I'll tell you one thing. I watched Aaron Glenn's highlights when he played with the Jets. I wasn't even born yet when he played because I was born in 1992. Right. But I think he was drafted. It was in 1989 or 1990 was when.
No. He's not from 1989. Steve, you're a numbers guy. You know all these details about the Jets. How are you you're starting the show off wrong with the already wrong information.
No, I wasn't around yet when Aaron Glenn played, but I watched his highlights.
Well, wait, you were around. You were born in what year?
1992.
Yes, you were alive when he played. You just probably weren't aware that he was playing.
Yeah, I wasn't aware. I was a baby at the time when he played. So,
okay.
But I'll tell you one thing though, because a couple of things that what I like about what Aaron Glenn has talked about with the team, like he doesn't take no drama. There's no bull crap going around because obviously the whole thing with Rodgers last year was crazy and I like the fact, when him and not only when Darren Moogie came in, they literally said to Aaron Rodgers, we're not going to put up with your crap. We're just going to let you go. Listen, unfortunately, it was a business decision at the end of the day, but, Aaron Glenn, Darren Moogie, they wanted to go in a different direction. And I remember even Quinnen Williams even said at one of the practices, one of the practices that he was at, because he didn't go to all of the mandatory practices, but the OTAs, he said that Quinnen Williams said that, Aaron Glenn brings a different velocity of football, like hardcore, tough.
Yep.
I like it. And
is he the head coach you wanted, or did you want somebody else?
He wasn't. The thing was that I wanted a guy that would take really good control of the team and not worry about stuff that happens in the backfield. So he was one of my top candidates. I'm not going to say he was my number one candidate, but if I do remember, there was another guy that I liked. I remember when they were looking back at maybe bringing Arthur Smith back because I was always a fan of Arthur Smith. But you know what though?
Wait, wait, hold time out. Why were you a fan of Arthur Smith?
When he was back in the day, when he was Tennessee's offensive coordinator, when Tannehill was on that team, I liked his offensive style when he was the offensive coordinator. I mean, that was when it was a debate between him and when our previous coach, Robert Saleh, then obviously we ended up hiring Saleh.
Right.
Because obviously because the organization liked Saleh's enthusiasm, but unfortunately throughout the other years, we didn't see that from Saleh. But at the end of the day, though, the other coach that I also really liked that Glenn did bring in was Steve Wilks, the defensive coordinator. Okay. I was a big fan of him. I know everyone says, oh, he sucked in Arizona as the head coach, but I've watched his defensive styles the last couple of years, and his defensive styles is great. And if I remember, last year, wasn't he Denver's defensive coordinator last year, if I remember?
No, he was out of the NFL last year.
Oh, that's right, he was. But in the recent years, though, when I've watched him play, I watched him coach. He is a tough coach, and I like the style that he brings too.
What style is that?
Very tough, hardcore style.
Hardcore.
But I like the fact though that we're like not too much of an old team, because I actually saw my dad earlier today, and my dad was asking me, so Steve, how do you feel about the Jets this year? And then I said, the thing is that the way of how I look at the Jets is, if they really, really are going to be a team that's going to compete this year and try to hopefully end our playoff drought this year, I said to myself, we need to make sure that we got to get to at least 10 to 11 wins. We can't be talking playoffs, right? Let's look before we even talk about that. What are your thoughts on the quarterback position? You were happy, I guess, the Jets got rid of Aaron Rodgers. You were happy about that, right? Mm-hmm. It was the right decision to do that. It was the right decision. At the end of the day, we got to do what's best for the organization, and then we bring in, Justin Fields. Now, I'll be very honest. Before Justin Fields came into the NFL, I wasn't really the biggest fan of him.
Why not?
Into the NFL.
But why?
It was just, I wasn't really a big fan of his style of play. And listen, I know a lot of people said because
his style. Wait. Okay, before you go into it, were you a big fan of Zach Wilson's style of play?
At the time back then I was, but then I realized that when you built a good team around Zach Wilson couldn't get the job done.
But wait, if you look at productivity in college, who do you think accomplished more in college, Zach Wilson or Justin Fields?
No, if I had to say between those two, it would be Justin Fields.
How can you not like his style of play? At Ohio State, he was awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but the thing was because my biggest fear was about when quarterbacks in the past have gotten drafted out of Ohio State, they don't really, really pan out too much. But then I looked at Justin Fields when he played with the Bears the first few years. And the Bears never built a good team around him. It reminded me of when we had Sam Darnold and we didn't have a good team around him either.
Well, but it's a couple things. It's the team. It's also coaching as well.
Oh, no, let me tell you, the first coaching that Justin Fields had when he was with the Bears, that coaching was terrible. And I felt bad for him. But the one thing was, what was big about having Justin Fields sign with us was that he was reunited with Garrett Wilson. And I actually remember watching the highlights of when him and Garrett Wilson played at Ohio State together, and those two had a connection with each other. And I remember the story was how they were good friends. They were also roommates in college. And I remember, listen, as a Rutgers fan I actually watched one of the games when Ohio State came to Rutgers one year.
Right.
And I'll tell you one thing, Justin Fields, Chris Olave, and Garrett Wilson, they put on an absolute show.
So if you saw him in person and they put on a show, why would you not like him to be a Jet? Why didn't you like his game coming out of college?
It was just that because the thing is, it worried me about anybody who quarterbacks in the past that have gone to Ohio State when they've come into the NFL have not really panned out. And that was something that I was worried about with Fields. That
But at some point, that trend, look at CJ Stroud. At some point, that trend changes.
Well, CJ Stroud has panned out really well. I'll give that credit. But the other thing is that I feel that with our new system that we have is with Justin Fields coming in, I think he fits our system very well.
And what do you think? What do you think our system is?
I think it's going to be more of like running the football, and Justin Fields I know can run with the football, because one thing I read about is that it's more of a ground and pound. Like we're trying to bring that back like from the old days with Rex. Then and obviously with him and Garrett Wilson being on the same team together. And the one thing that Justin Fields has really worked on, which I've seen through Twitter, is he's worked on his arm accuracy. Because I remember back when he first came into the league, he had issues with throwing the football. But as the years went on, and even when he was with Pittsburgh last year, he even got better. Now, my younger brother, who's a Steelers fan, when he saw the Jets signing Justin Fields, he told me, Steve, that was a phenomenal signing by the Jets. He was actually upset that the Steelers did not re-sign Justin Fields. He wanted Justin Fields to come back over Russell Wilson. So,
well, yeah, I mean, he's young, has a lot of potential. Every year his game is improving, and now it's a matter of tapping that potential and you just getting the most you can out of him. Give him a good offensive line, give him playmakers, and have good coaching staff, and see what happens. So it's like, it's worth a shot at this point. I'd rather have him than some retread coach or a retread quarterback that's washed up, and you're just kind of like a Band-Aid. If Justin Fields plays great, you can have your next quarterback for the next decade. If he doesn't, you can move on within a year, draft somebody next year, and move on. So it's kind of like a placeholder at best, but maybe you have your franchise quarterback. Who knows?
Now, here's the thing. I told you about how my younger brother is a Steelers fan.
Right.
When him and I saw the schedule come out, and this was right after when a week or two later when Aaron Rodgers signed with the Steelers, we're trying to get tickets for a group to like go to that game.
Yep.
The tickets are so bad right now, Tyson. They rose those prices up so high because not only is it the first game of the season, but it's Aaron Rodgers returning back, and it's Aaron Rodgers facing his old team, Justin Fields facing his old team the first week of the season. I just have a feeling that game, there's going to be some blood in that game.
No, I mean, well, you keep in mind too. It's like it's the home opener, which is a big game for all the fans. Everybody's excited about it. The Jets haven't lost a game yet, so there's excitement there. You have the rivalry, and the Jets want to make money, man. They know that they're not an easy ticket to sell because nobody really believes in them. So, if you want tickets, I can get you tickets though. I have a friend that has, yeah.
I'll tell you something right now. If Aaron Rodgers had signed before the schedule came out, they would have put that as the Monday night game, the first game of the year. They would have done it.
I'm not so sure. I mean, I think the NFL had a pretty good idea that Rodgers was going to sign, and this is a marquee 1:00 game. They're not going to put Jets. I mean, the Jets are relevant, dude. Like, they're Justin Fields. Nobody cares about them. The Rodgers story was nice the last 2 years. Nobody cares about him either. It's like it's a marquee 1:00 game, and they kind of knew this was going on. I'm sure Rodgers gave him a hint, so I'm not too worried about that. Now, in terms of the offense, though, you're looking at good offensive line, which you feel good about that, right?
I'm sorry, you glitched out for a second. Can you just repeat that one more time?
The offensive line, do you like that? With this signing, they have Olu, now they have Membu. You excited about these guys?
No, I was actually very happy about the Membu drafting Membu in the first round, because everybody was all like, "Oh, we need to go after the tight end from Penn State," but I was like, "No. You gotta protect your quarterback." I think protecting your quarterback is the most important thing to do. And it was the thing. I remember every draft analysis went over. Remember, everybody was all saying Membu at our pick. And guess what? That's the player we ended up taking. And I even said to my gut feeling, I knew that was the player we were going to take.
Well, I mean, that's what Aaron Glenn believes in, is building through the trenches. Your offensive line is the anchor of your team. You build it, and then your offense goes off of that.
Oh yeah, no, and no. The thing is, I'm hoping that it brings back memories of when we had the offensive line in 2009. Do you remember that offensive line?
Of course.
Oh my God! In my opinion, Tyson, that was out of all the years I've been a Jets fan, that to me is still the greatest offensive line we had, because that was the year we ran the football so much. And
you're right. That's when the Jets are running the ball. The defense knew it, and they still ran the ball. Like, they were that was true ground and pound. Now, I don't think this team will be the same. I think they're going to try to diversify it and let Justin Fields throw the ball a little more, but Now, what do you think about the running backs, man? Because you have Brees Hall, who's in a contract year. You have Braylon Allen. You have Isaiah Davis. Do you have big expectations for Brees?
This to me is a make it or break year for Brees, because
This is
Brees
the contract year.
and that needs to show this year that he could be our number one running back. And if he doesn't show it this year, well, I mean, and if he doesn't show it this year, then honestly, like, there could be a potential that we don't give him the contract extension. We could just say, you know what, we'll move on from free agency. Then
Hold
we'll
on.
give Braylon Allen.
What if he does show it this year? You paying him?
Oh no, if he does show it this year, absolutely.
You are.
If he does, then yes, we're definitely.
Wait, no, hold on. I'm not saying we're definitely, because I completely disagree with you. If Brees Hall has a monster, say he runs, like, I don't think he's going to get 25 carries a game. I think he'll probably get like 15 to 17, and they're going to maybe he'll catch a lot of passes. But say he runs for 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns, or whatever else, you're going to pay him big money?
Probably not, because you can't give a running back. You can't.
You just said you were going to pay him 2 seconds ago.
I mean, I would give him a good amount, not something that's like over the top, because running backs are not really supposed to get paid that high unless you're an elite running back.
Right. So do you think like, the problem we have right now is we saw a great Brees, then we saw an injured Brees, and then last year he said he was injured again with his knee, so he's kind of humbled, kind of hobbled again. So we don't know what he's like fully healthy. We haven't seen it in a couple of years now. So if he has this monster year in a contract year, would you pay him? Or do you say, you know what, Brees, we love you, but we'd like to pay you, but we also got to pay Garrett Wilson. We got to pay Sauce Gardner. We got to pay Jermaine Johnson.
Yeah.
What about AVT? Like, in terms of priorities, running back to me is not a priority right now.
Yeah, no, it's just that no. And the thing is that I as much as I love, I love Brees too, but I think we would move on from him.
You just said 2 minutes ago you were going to pay him.
No, because you know what, I made a
We
mistake.
call that, Steve, on this show. We call that a waffle. You just waffled just now. You did.
But the thing is, no, I actually take that back. I wouldn't pay him. I mean,
if it's something, listen, everybody has their own choice. I mean, you figure Giant fans with Barkley were kind of up in the air. Like, what do we do with him? They let him go to Eagles. He has an MVP-like year and wins a Super Bowl. You never know. But unfortunately, Brees, he's just been so banged up. We don't know. And then, to me, it's like, where the Jets are right now, that money could be so better spent elsewhere.
Yeah,
with
Sauce or Garrett.
Yeah, Sauce, Garrett, Jermaine, AVT. Like, I want to solidify. Like, to me, running backs is not a premium position where I'm going to grossly overpay. I just don't want to.
Mm-hmm. No. The thing is that it's important that Sauce and Garrett, I think, are the two that get paid. Brees, on the other hand, I would just say, you know what, Brees says, like you said, I love you, but I think we're going to go in a different direction.
So now at the wide receiver position, are you ready? I'm assuming you're ready to pay Garrett Wilson the money he deserves, right?
Oh my God, no, absolutely. I would want him, because he is the one I think that deserves a contract extension more than anyone.
Yep. No, I think at this point, if you're looking for building blocks of your team, Garrett Wilson on offense has got to be one of them. He has to be. The challenge you have is figuring out what his level is. Like, where do you pay him at? Is he a top 10 receiver in the NFL? He hasn't really proven that yet. Is he top 15? Like, what does he want to be paid as? But I think when Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn keep saying we want to keep our young superstars, Garrett Wilson's one of them. You got to pay him. Now the question is, what else do you have at wide receiver? Because you don't really have a lot. You have a lot of unknowns. Alan Lazard, we know what he is. Josh Reynolds is kind of a journeyman guy. Malachi Corley didn't play last year. He's hurt this year. Like Gibson, it's like,
yeah,
it's
that guy we drafted from Bama. What was his name?
From Bama or from Georgia?
Georgia. I'm sorry,
bro. You're struggling tonight, man. What's going on? You're right. You want some coffee?
One of those two. It was one of those two schools he went to. But it's the guy we got from Georgia. He can run routes really well, but the problem is he has an issue with catching the ball.
That's kind of a big issue, no?
Unfortunately, that is.
So you have concerns at wide receiver then, what you're saying?
Unfortunately, yeah, because we got to find that second receiver, to pair up with Garrett Wilson. Like I'll give you an example. One team that has a number 1 and a number 2 receiver, Tampa Bay. You look at Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. That's the kind of thing we need.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we got Garrett Wilson. Who's the receiver that's going to step up?
That's the
That's
question.
the issue.
Well, see, now you could say, like, I have concerns at wide receiver, but you could say you have Brees Hall coming out of the backfield. He's probably going to catch a lot of passes. But what about the tight end position? They got Mason Taylor. They drafted him. Maybe they can use him. Maybe Ruckert emerges. Would you have faith in maybe making Mason Taylor your number 2 receiver?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's what I'm here for.
My only thing is if he ends up becoming a number 2 receiver, he would have to be out there for most of the plays.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that he's going to be a number 1. I'm hoping they're going to make number 1 tight end for them. He's going to get a lot of options in the passing game. You have Stone Smart, but I mean,
draft picks besides Membo. I did like that pick because after moving on from Conklin, that was a good solid pickup.
Yeah, I mean, I actually like Conklin. I think the Jets' offense failed him just because of just poor play calling. A quarterback didn't want to use him. I actually liked him, but it didn't work out. Now he's in a great spot with the Chargers. So overall, from the offense, what do you expect? Do you think they're going to be a top 20 offense? Are they going to be like stuck in the mud like they were last year? Like, what's your realistic expectation for them?
I would say as of now is because since we still have issues at the wide receiver position, like we did talk about, and obviously since if we're going to make Mason Taylor like our number 1 tight end, I would probably say we're kind of in the middle of the pack of the offense. I would say we're in the middle.
Okay, we have a potential sighting here. Were you at Crumble Cookie on Chimney Rock yesterday?
I saw Steve at Crumble Cookie on Chimney Rock yesterday.
Do you go to Crumble Cookie?
For dashing I do, but no, I wasn't in that area yesterday. He actually saw me yesterday. I don't remember.
You're a celebrity, dude. Everybody knows you from our channel, man.
I mean, I mean, listen, I don't know who that fan was that saw that wrote that, but
it's Mike D.
Oh, it was Mike D. Listen, I mean, I'm trying to remember who he was, but if he knows who I am, that's great. But
you have to you would say hi to him, right?
Of course, absolutely. If he came up saying hello to me, I would say hi to him. Absolutely.
So you're a nice guy. Now, who do you think has more pressure on this year, Aaron Glenn or Justin Fields?
Wow. Okay.
Good question, right?
Aaron Glenn, because this is his first year, coaching. He's a new head coach. He's a rookie head coach. If I had to pick between the two of them, I would say the more of the pressure it's kind of like a 50-50 vote because Aaron Glenn, because he's got to coach the team and get ready, for all the games that we play this year. And then Justin Fields for his play on the field, he's got to make smart decisions and not bad decisions. So to me, it's a 50-50 vote.
No, we don't have 50-50. You got to pick one.
Okay, but if I had to lead him more towards in, I would have to go with the coach.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of would agree with you because I think none of us really think Justin Fields is a long-term answer. We would like to be pleasantly surprised. But I think Aaron Glenn, where he's trying to change the culture and show that his team is like disciplined, physical, and will compete every week, we got to see it. Like, you could talk about it. A lot of coaches in the past have talked about it, but they didn't do it. I think everybody wants to see him do it because it's like now we want you to be our coach for the next 10 years. So in terms of Fields' career, he's on a lot of pressure because if he doesn't have a career year here, he probably won't be a starter ever again. But I think it's going to be interesting, man. I think there's a lot of pressure on his coaches to have to impress everybody, especially early on and not seeing this like a tank season.
Yeah. But when I honestly look at the situation, it's more, I do agree with you, Tyson. It is more on the coach. The coach is the one that's got to get them prepared. Like, listen, I remember at times, remember how we all thought that Robert Saleh would not get would get the teams ready to go? Dude, at times when Robert Saleh was our coach last year and even a couple of years, there were at times where he didn't even get the team ready to play. Like,
there's too many times.
Of why we haven't been a good team is the last few years they haven't been able to play a full 60 minutes. There'll be at one point where they'll play a good, let's say, second quarter, and then they'll play really bad in the fourth quarter and lose.
No, I agree. They're poorly coached. A lot of times they came off unprepared. no adjustments, sometimes lack of effort, especially in big moments, which was frustrating. Bad turnovers, bad penalties. Now,
Tyson,
good.
The one game that pissed me off the most, there were 2 games last year that pissed me off the most.
Just 2?
Oh, there were a lot of games
What
that pissed
the hell's going on?
Who the heck is these balloons
What do you
up?
got balloons going? What do you got balloons going on over there for?
I don't have balloons up. I don't know who's putting balloons up. That's not me. I don't know who the hell did that.
It wasn't me. I'm minding my own business over here.
The 2 games that pissed me off the most last year were when we lost to Denver at home.
That was bad.
When we lost to Denver at home, the game in the rain, and that game in New England. Those 2 games, you didn't even want to talk to me after those 2 games.
There's more than that. Dude, a lot of games. Dude, the whole freaking 85% of the season pissed me off last year.
Also, the game in Arizona.
Oh. Quick, Johnny, 1,000%, dude. I cannot wait for that. July 20th, I'll be there early. If anybody's going to that concert, I'll be there probably 4 hours for the show, pre-gaming and stuff. I'm more than happy to have a drink, whoever's going.
So, so the other thing, Tyson, I wanted to ask you about like the schedule and stuff. So
hold on. This is my interview. We got to talk defense first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dude, you demand this interview, and then you tell me how to run it too? What the hell's going on around here? Now, defensively, you say you like Steve Wilks, right? Aaron Glenn's a defensive-minded head coach, which because the defense should be better. They should compete, be more physical. Do you have any concerns that they can't stop the run this year again like they did last year?
I think this year with the running with us against the run, I think we will be better this year because I think we did build more around, like with Quinnen. I was also happy about the re-signing of Jamie Sherwood.
That's a good one.
Because Sherwood, I thought he was one of the key additions that we needed to bring back. And then, Michael Carter II, by the way, is also coming back from his injury. So I'm excited about him. And, obviously, but the other player, the only person that I was a little bit worried about on the defense that we signed was the guy we got from Baltimore. And I will say we kind of did overpay him a little bit for having a bad year last year.
Oh, Brandon Stevens?
Yeah, he is the one player I'm a little bit worried about, but there is one player that I think that can take DJ Reed's spot, and that's the cornerback we got from Florida State.
AZ Thomas?
I watched his highlights, and my God, he is physical. He is so physical, that player.
Okay, so wait. Okay, so you watched Brandon Stevens' highlights, and you didn't like them, but you watched AZ Thomas's highlights, and you like those.
Yes, and I think AZ Thomas is going to – I think he's going to be our second corner this year. That's how I feel. I think he's going to be our second corner, and I think Brandon Stevens is going to be our backup.
That's
I think
a hot
he'll
take.
be one of our backups.
I mean, I think with Brandon Stevens, he has a lot of potential. The word is that he's always in the right position, but never makes the play, never secures the ball, and never turns around and gets the interception. But to me, it's like you have that faith in Aaron Glenn being a former corner and a very good defensive-minded coach, and Steve Wilks to maybe help get something out of him that he wasn't getting at Baltimore. As Baltimore's a great coaching staff too, but you're kind of hoping. But you're right, he was the signing where you're like he made a lot of money, and there's a lot of competition at corner, which is good. And if Stevens doesn't work out, AZ Thomas is a nice guy to step right in. So he's good. At least he's a good insurance policy at best. And Thomas, you know what I mean?
Oh no, and that was why I liked it too. And then there was another person I'm trying to think of. I remember there was someone else we signed on the defense. I'm trying to remember who it was.
Drafted or signed?
No, signed. Listen, like I said, I was happy that Sherwood came
Cisco,
back.
the safety?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome,
that was his name. No, I liked his addition too because obviously Ashton Davis is now gone. I think that's a bigger improvement at the safety position. I think our defense this year, Tyson, I actually will say this right now. I think our defense is going to be a top 10 this year.
Really?
I think we could be a top 10 defense if we stay healthy.
Now, that's the interesting take because there are some concerns at defensive tackle stopping the run. And then in terms of a pass rush, Will McDonald is coming on. You give him that. But Tremaine Johnson's coming off a huge injury, man, where he may not be ready to go week one, or if he is ready to go, he's probably only going to play a limited amount of snaps. So where's your pass rush going to come from?
Well, it's obviously we got Will McDonald, like you said, and then Jermaine is one of the concerns, unfortunately. I mean, I know he's most likely going to start on the PUP list, and then there was another pass rusher we have. I'm just trying to remember what his name was.
Well,
but
you drafted a kid. You have, there's some other guys. They have Rashad Weeders coming on. There's a couple guys. You still have Leonard Taylor. You still have a bunch of guys there, but a lot of unproven guys as well in terms of like speed rushers.
No, I'll tell you one thing. Will McDonald got big. Like he got muscular in the offseason.
You saw him?
No, I didn't see him, but I saw pictures of him on Twitter.
Well, the reports are that he gained 15 pounds of muscle. So hopefully, and the only concern you have with that is that you like hearing that, but you want to make sure he keeps his explosiveness and his speed, because the whole Michael Clemens experience, when Clemens came on, then put on all that weight, it kind of blew up in the Jets' face. So hopefully, the Jets hold him down correctly.
Now, if he doesn't pan out during Camp Tyson, I think he gets cut.
I think so too. I think Malachi Corley's on a hot seat too.
Let me tell you something. There were times where I would watch him play last year, Tyson, where he would just piss me off with a lot of certain things.
Yeah, the penalties.
Yeah, I know. The penalties is the one main thing about him.
And the missed tackles, the terrible angles, the questionable effort. You name it, he did it last year.
Where somebody would make a big defensive play, there was a fumble on the ground. He would be right there and doesn't drop his whole freaking body on it.
Now, the only thing you wonder, and this is just wondering, is that Aaron Glenn's tough-minded, hard-nosed approach maybe can get a lot out of Michael Clemens that Saleh wasn't getting at it. Maybe Saleh was too nice a guy or didn't coach the same way. Maybe Aaron Glenn can get through to this kid and maybe make a player out of him. You never know. Like, sometimes a coaching change can do that, where you get a spark out of somebody that wasn't there before, and then you have some depth on the defensive line. So that's a possibility as well, because we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, what happened last year, what's going to happen this year. So maybe there's a change there.
Yeah, no, and that's why I think Aaron Glenn can definitely bring that. But listen, like I said, Tyson, if this defense can stay healthy and if this defense pulls together, this could be a top 10 defense.
I hope. Now, are you ready to make Sauce Gardner the top paid corner in football?
Am I making him the top? Of course.
All right. So you're going to pay Sauce and Garrett Wilson.
I'm paying both of them. Those are the two most important people that got to get paid. I
Now, do you have any concerns that as of now we have an unproven kicker and unproven punter?
Well, I mean, the kicker. Obviously, because now we moved on from Morstead and Zuerlein. I mean, listen, I think moving on from Zuerlein was a good move. But the thing is, though, the kicker that we got, he's kind of big and a little. I mean, is our kicker supposed to be overweight?
Why are you judging him, man? It doesn't matter. Only kick the ball. I don't give a shit.
Well, I mean, obviously, we'll see what he.
They're not sprinters. They're not running for touchdowns. They kick the ball. I don't care how they look. He can smoke cigarettes, drink beer for all I care. I don't just kick the ball.
I mean, listen. Hopefully, we'll see what the new kicker and the new punter can do. I mean, I love Thomas Morstead the last couple of years, but unfortunately we had to move on from Morstead because he's getting old, unfortunately.
All right, Steve, you got a question from Mike. Are there any veteran players you would like to add? And if you don't know, if you don't have to say a name, you can say a position that concerns you if you want to add a veteran player.
Add a veteran players you would like to add. Oh.
I'll give you some. Want me to give you some?
Yeah.
I would say right now, if you can get a more proven wide receiver, I would definitely do that. If you want to look for an upgrade at tight end to add a little more depth at tight end, not opposed to that. Defensive tackle, no problem. I'm cool with that. Like, I'm looking, you can never have enough upgrades, man.
At the wide receiver position, is Amari Cooper, has he signed with the team, Amari Cooper?
I don't think he has, but I haven't been paying real close attention the last week or so. I don't think he has, though. That's a guy, but that's the kind of player you'd be looking for.
Yeah, because he's a veteran. Another one to add, if I'm looking at, did Justin Simmons sign with the team?
Justin Simmons?
Kevin.
Look at this guy. Is this a monthly appearance?
What's up,
What's
Kevin?
at home? What's up?
Justin Simmons, you looking for a safety now?
Well. I mean, you're looking at veteran players.
So you're saying, so Amari Cooper is still available, and Keenan Allen. So you're saying you're looking for safety market.
Well, unless if one of our safeties get hurt.
Okay, so the question, it was a very easy question, Kevin. It was, what veteran players are you looking to add, or at what position? So
And what was his answer? Only if somebody gets hurt?
Yeah.
That's the kind of answer I would expect.
But I'm I was saying, I'm looking at tight end, wide receiver, defensive tackle. I mean, I'm not opposed to safety, but it's not high on my list right now. Steve?
Yeah, I'm hang on. I'm thinking.
I'll take your time. It's just a live show.
Yeah.
I tuned in about 3 times, and every time I tuned in, your head was like,
Yeah, sorry.
We had to do some fact checking.
I saw something about balloons too.
Yeah,
He waved his hand, the balloons came up.
Somebody hacked onto my thing and put balloons behind me.
Yeah,
That's pretty dope, actually.
Steve, do you have a light in your house?
I do.
No, Steve.
No, yeah, I do, but I can see fine.
We can't see you though.
He's John Cena.
Second.
What's up, V-Man? Sipping some
What's
rum.
up,
You
V-Man?
gotta sip rum dealing with this shit. So he sent me a direct message and demanded his interview. This is why I'm doing this tonight. Yeah.
Wow.
How you been,
Demanded?
Kevin? What's going on?
Yeah. He said, when is
Oh,
my
now I can see you. What's
he's
up?
like, when is
How
my
you been?
interview?
So wait, he waited 36 minutes to turn a light on?
hmm
It was still bright out, but now it's starting to get dark.
So Steve, what is when you look at this team? We've spent 36 minutes discussing this team. When you look at this team, what is your season prediction? How many wins are they going to get?
If I had to say right now, if I really want to be optimistic and say that this team is going to do great this year, and Kevin, you're like, no, this team is not going to get a lot. I'm looking at Kevin. Kevin's like, no, we're not going to get as much win.
Don't worry about Kevin. Just where you were doing
Why
fine.
you give a direct answer?
If I had to say right now, I say 7.
That's not bad. And is that a good season or a bad season in your opinion?
I think for a new head coach, it's a good season for a new head coach. Obviously, a rookie head coach. But the thing is though, because I will say when I did look at the schedule for this team, I will say that our schedule this year is not as tough as it has been the last couple of years, because obviously one of the divisions that we do play this year is the NFC South, and they're one of the weaker divisions in the league. And then obviously, I mean, I know the AFC division we have is the North, and obviously we know how tough.
Okay, let's just go through this real quick. You're saying this is an easier schedule. You're starting with the Steelers playoff team, Steelers, Bills playoff team, right? Buccaneers playoff team.
But the Buccaneers game, but here's the thing though, the Buccaneers, you don't know what kind of a team they're going to be. Yes, they have been a playoff team the last few years, but some weeks, the last couple of years, they're either really good or they just don't show up.
Were they a playoff team?
Yes, they won the division, but their division stunk.
This is fucking.
Give me the headache already.
You're
15 minutes.
You just said the schedule's easier. The first 3 games are brutal.
Okay. Well, I mean, hey, listen.
We'll continue to play this game.
What's up?
We'll continue. So the first 3 games, then you have the Dolphins, which could be in a little bit of turmoil. You never know there. Then you have the Cowboys. The Cowboys are a good team, even with a new coach, head coach.
Yeah, but the thing is though, like my dad and I were talking about this when we actually looked at the schedule, and listen, the game against the Cowboys is at home. It's at home at least.
Yeah, well,
but the Cowboys last couple of years, I mean, yeah, they got Micah Parsons on their team still, but they have kind of been declining. They have been declining, that team. And now they got a new head coach.
They didn't have a quarterback last year.
Well, yeah, I mean, but you know, Dak Prescott, you don't know what he's going to be like.
Yeah, but look at all the weapons around him. CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, not too bad.
I mean, CeeDee Lamb, yes, he's a great receiver. George Pickens, you don't know about him. There's 1 week where he could be really good, and then there's 1 week, where he doesn't show up.
I mean, I'm not gonna the Cowboys have a new Brian Schottenheimer's new head coach. Like the Cowboys have talent, man. All right, so we're gonna say you're confident in that game. So now we're gonna cruise along here. Then you have the Denver Broncos.
That's the game in London.
Okay, that's by no means an easy game.
That game is kind of in the middle because of how good Denver's defense is.
In the middle of what?
Because obviously we were able to do good against Bo Nix last year, but the reason why we didn't win that game was because our offense couldn't fucking score.
And he was just learning how to play football, and then he was as a rookie, he started figuring out the offense, and they opened it up, and he became a freaking very good quarterback.
Wasn't that the rain game also?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were talking about that. That game pissed me the fuck off last year.
It's so funny.
What game did piss us off last year?
That's what I said. He's like, he goes, 2 games pissed me off. Like 2. Fucking
pissed off every week.
Okay. So, all right, Steve. So then you have the Broncos where you're confident. I don't know how you're comfortable with that one. The Bengals is interesting because they have a really great offensive defense.
Carolina at home.
Oh, that's right. There you go. Carolina home. That's one that's fair, even though Bryce Young's playing a lot better. So out of the first, 8 games, you feel comfortable with like 2 of them.
Hey, listen, you don't know. You got to see how this team comes out. Listen, I will say this. The first half of our schedule, I think, is the toughest part of our schedule. I think it is because, and listen, but if this team could come out, if they could compete and win some of those games, they could be in the right direction.
No,
and,
I agree, but you said the schedule. You said the schedule overall was easier. Didn't he say that prime time? Or am I hearing?
He did. I did hear that.
So now you said the schedule was easier. Now you're saying the first half of it's difficult.
No, the first half, but then when you look at the second half, after we come back from bye week, we got Cleveland at home.
True.
Cleveland, obviously, even though they have Myles Garrett, which they gave him that fucking ridiculous contract in the offseason. Like that, I don't understand where the Browns organization came out with that, but
he's like
you don't understand why they paid Myles Garrett?
Yeah, Myles Garrett wanted out him, and basically the Browns organization gave him a middle finger. They're like, no, we're just going to give you all this money. And he said, you know what, I'll take the fucking money.
Wait. Wait, what? Hold on. So the Browns gave him the middle finger by making him the highest paid defensive player in football?
Yeah, and like, I don't want to play for this organization anymore. I want to move on. But
it's called negotiating.
Yeah. But then after the Cleveland game,
I got a question for you. Did you want the Jets to draft Shedeur Sanders?
Oh, absolutely not.
Why not?
No. Was not a fan of was not a big fan of him at all. I watched his highlights. I was not a fan of him, and I was glad we did not take him.
Okay, Kevin.
He's having his issues with Cleveland. I don't care about Shedeur Sanders. He's with Cleveland. I don't give a shit.
Before the draft, where did you think he was going to get drafted?
I thought at first he was going to get drafted in round 2. I was really shocked that he went all the way down to round 5. I thought he was going to get drafted in round 2 somewhere, but then he went all the way down to number 5. So then obviously I said after the Cleveland game.
But wait, if he thought he was going to get drafted in round 2 and the Jets would have got him in round 5, isn't that really good value for the Jets?
Well, it's not good value right now.
Why not? How do we know?
Hindsight.
It's not good value right now.
Why not?
Because he's already gotten in trouble.
What, speeding? Primetime speeds. Who cares?
I don't speed. I take a train to work every day. I don't even drive anymore.
All right, so Steve, we got the Browns game. You're confident. Patriots. What do you think about the Patriots?
We go to Foxborough to play the Patriots on Thursday night.
Are they an approved team?
No, listen, they made improvements, but they still have some work to do because they're still a rebuilding team.
I mean, they spent a ton of money.
Coach.
They spent a lot. And you got Drake May year 2 with a lot of talent around him now.
I mean, we'll see what happens with that. And then week 12, this game is, I think, one of the tougher games on the schedule. They go to B-More to play the Ravens.
Yeah, I'd say it's a tough game.
That is a tough game because you're facing Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, and we all know how great Lamar Jackson is. Week 13, you got Atlanta at home. I think that's a winnable game.
They're a team on the rise. I mean, Michael Penix played pretty well last year towards the end.
Yeah, he did. Then obviously we have the rematch with the Dolphins in Week 14. We don't know if Tua's going to be healthy or not. That's always the issue. If Tua's healthy, the Dolphins are very good. If he's not healthy, that team is a complete different.
Wait, you don't have faith in Zach Wilson?
No, absolutely not. Zach Wilson's their second quarterback. I honestly, I believe we can beat him.
So, Steve, one of your fans wants to know if the Jets are at least 5-5. Are you going to go to Baltimore for the game?
Oh, that's a good. I would have to think about it. Are you paying for my hotel room?
What the hell?
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
Am I paying for it? I mean, I'd go. Jets are 5-5. I 100% would go. That's a fun town.
Think about it. I mean, listen. I did the road trip to Cleveland. I would love to do another road trip down to Baltimore if we're 5-5. I would do it.
See, there you go.
And listen, I listen. Primetime and I, we sat together in Cleveland many years ago.
Such a great time.
Yeah, we sat in Cleveland. We had a great time. We got messed around by the Browns mascot. It was funny as hell.
Yeah, you almost got to speed up.
Yeah, I know I did because I was fucked up at that game.
So, Steve, will you be doing? First of all, are you going to any home games this year? And if you go to a home game, are you doing any shotguns?
Am I doing any shotguns? Yeah. No, I'm definitely going to go to home games. I'll do shotguns with anyone who wants to do one with me. Absolutely.
But they got to provide the beer, though.
Of course, I'll buy the beer.
Oh, you're buying the beer too?
I'll buy the beer.
We got to tape this one. All right, so we're going to go. You have the Falcons, the Dolphins, then you have the Jacksonville Jaguars. Are you buying in the new coaching staff and Travis Hunter?
Well, Jacksonville, I will say this. The only thing is with Jacksonville is it depends on like where that team is at, because if Trevor Lawrence is healthy and if he's playing in that game, that will be a much tougher game. That is another one of the tougher games on the schedule. But the thing is though,
I thought the second half was easier.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Excuse me. No. But if let's say if Jacksonville is not healthy and if Trevor Lawrence doesn't play, I think we could definitely win that game.
No shit. You can say, look, if we play the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson's hurt, I think we have a chance to win that game.
Oh,
if we play the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen's hurt, I think we have a chance to win that game.
If
Joe Burrow's hurt, we could probably win that game too.
If Lamar Jackson was hurt, we would win that game.
I'm exhausted.
Week 16 comes around. That's when I think we go to New Orleans, right? That
Yes.
to me is a game that we should win, even though that game is in New Orleans, because that organization is a mess.
You don't like Tyler Shuck?
Not a big fan of him at all. And the Steelers, wow, why did I say Steelers? The Saints really don't have, like besides Chris Olave, they don't really have like anyone. That organization is a mess right now. Because Derek Carr just recently retired, and obviously they're figuring out who's going to be their. They don't even know who their quarterback is going to be day number one.
Okay, so you address the Saints. Now you have the Patriots, the second game of the season.
That's when our home finale. And I believe because we are home for that game. I definitely see a win in that one.
Really?
And the final game of the year when we play Buffalo, it really depends. Obviously, if Buffalo, let's say, has clinched their division, clinched one of the top spots in the AFC, and let's say we're fighting for a playoff spot that last game of the year, Buffalo, I think, would rest their starters. And if we are
so basically in your world, our best chance to win is if their best players are out.
If their best players are in, then we have no chance. If their best players are in, and if they're fighting for something, we have no chance.
Okay. Primetime, your thoughts on this schedule
We've
evaluation?
been competitive with Buffalo a few times, and that's with, I think, lesser talent. So if we're going under the assumption that Glenn is supposed to be an upgrade from Saleh, like, to me, there's still no reason why the Jets can't compete with almost any team on their schedule this year. I'm not expecting, again, 9 or 10 wins, but with their offensive line, if you get a little more out of Justin Fields, I think they could still be competitive with anybody.
Well, I mean, the only thing is I got a question for you, Kevin, because The issue is that, yes, we do play Buffalo very tough at home. We do play them tough at home the last couple of years. But then the issue is from the last couple of years when we've gone up there, we haven't even shown up to play against them. The last couple of years when we've gone up to Buffalo, we haven't showed up in that stadium and not played well against them. And this year for Buffalo, it's kind of an emotional season for them because this is the last year of the stadium that they're playing in, I believe. And I think next year they're going to be opening up the new stadium. So the last regular season game in Highmark Stadium is against us.
See that? So
They might have a home playoff game.
yeah.
Well, then again, that is true. They could have a home playoff game. That is true. But I'm talking about that's the regular season.
Okay. So overall, you're saying 7 wins, but it could. Is there any? Do you see any possibility where the Jets could actually be a playoff team this year?
Do I see the Jets as a playoff team this year? Which right now where spot they're at. Listen, I want to say yes because I always want to go. I always want to say yes because I always want to go with my heart. But this time, if I really, really have to think about it, as of right now, I don't think we're a playoff team this year, unfortunately.
What would change your mind?
What would change my mind is to see how this team looks throughout the first few weeks during the year. If I see myself like, oh my God, before we go on the bye week, where it's after 8 games, right? Let's say if this team is 5-3 or 6-2 going into the bye. Listen, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if that would happen, that would change my mind. I'll be like, holy shit, we have a chance for the playoffs.
So what if they're like 3-5? Are you giving up on them?
It depends on also too where the conference is at the time. If they're 3-5, it's a maybe. I'll tell you this: if we were 2-6, 1-7, or even 0-8,
But wait,
then it would be. I would have.
you just told us the second part of the schedule was easier. So if they're 3-5 and the second part of the schedule is easier, maybe they can make a run then.
Listen, they could. Listen, I got to see what this team looks like. I got to see what they look like. Right now, we don't know what's going to happen. It all depends on how healthy this team is.
Steve, you realize that we understand that we got to see how the season plays out, but we're trying to talk about our predictions to how things should play out. So we're just trying to obviously the Jets are 6-2. I think primetime are be buying Super Bowl tickets, but I mean, we got to kind of make predictions based on what we know.
Was this agreed upon that this was going to be like a season preview show beforehand?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Second.
Well, because the way this worked out was I got a direct message. I'm ready for my interview. I'm like, okay. Because it's become a yearly thing now, apparently, that's the way it works. And he said 8:00 Monday. Okay. And then I said, well, we talked about his summer so far. He's working out 5 days a week.
Whoa, good for you.
Yeah. And then now we talked a little bit about his off season, what he's doing personally. And then we said, we'll preview the season because he had a couple of mistakes he made, like the wrong college for some players. And he thought Aaron Glenn was drafted in the 80s.
Oh.
Other than that, it wasn't too bad. You've done good, Steve, because you've had some time off. You've been busy.
Yeah, no. And listen, we all got to do what we got to do in our time. Well, I guess so. I'll ask Kevin this.
Don't ask me.
To the internet.
It
looks like an issue with the router and Echo device.
Alexa talking to you?
Unplug both of them, then plug the back in.
Alexa, play Metallica.
The router is back on and connected to the internet. Plug in the Echo device.
What is that?
Sorry about that, but no. But the thing was, I was going to ask Kevin was Kevin, how have you been? How's your summer been?
Summer's just getting started. I've been working. I don't have a summer.
It's June 23rd.
But yeah, I've been working every day. I've just worked Fanatics Fest, which was absolutely amazing. Great experience there. So just staying busy.
No, listen, that's important. But listen, I just hope that this year, for the Jets this year, I'm hoping that it's an exciting season that we can watch as we don't have to be embarrassed about this team, anymore. Because I don't want to hear, no more drama and stuff of what's going on with this and that and this and that. So I just hope for a great season this year for the team.
You and me both, man.
Well, listen. I had a really, really fun time with you guys tonight. Sorry about the issues with what was going on in the background. Someone putting balloons up. I don't know who was that. Someone put balloons up.
Steve, you know that I have absolutely no ability when it comes to technology, so it definitely was not me. I did not do that at all.
That's something Wonder Man would do.
It wasn't you. I believe you.
So, well, first of all, Steve, thank you. I know you're a celebrity now. It's prime time. Somebody saw me at Crumble Cookies.
Really?
Yeah, he's a celebrity now.
Yeah, apparently.
And like recognize him from the show?
Yep.
It was Mike. Mike was his name. I don't know who he is in person, but if he came up to me and said hello, I would have said he would have been like, "Oh, you're Steve," and I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, I just wish he would come up to me and say hello.
Of course. Would you sign an autograph or take a selfie?
I would take I would probably do a selfie.
There you go.
What cookies would you recommend from there?
What cookie? Well, I mean, they have actually different variety cookies every day.
They're expensive.
Yeah, no, they
If you had
are.
to recommend one, what would it be?
Oh, you go with the classic, man, the chocolate chip.
Fair enough. Well, Steve, first of all, thank you so much for your time. This is truly an honor. You should call in a lot more often. I know you're a celebrity now and you're big time, so you're a very busy man. So will you be calling in during the season, or is this just like an off-season thing?
No, I'll definitely be back for the season. I will definitely be back during the season. Hopefully, you won't see me freaking out like how you guys do on your channels. I don't
know what you're talking about.
Listen,
you only waffled like 4 times tonight. It's not that bad. Usually up to like 10. So
yeah,
it's not bad.
Hey, listen, you guys have a good night, okay?
Take care, man.
Hey, bye-bye.
Be good.
He literally direct messaged me. I'll read it to you. I was like, wait, what? It's just like, what are we doing? Where is it? Hold on.
Never change.
He's like, let's see. How are you doing? I'm ready for my interview on Let's Talk Jets on YouTube about the state of the team.
Wow.
I'm like, where have you been? I'm very busy. I recently moved. Monday, 8 o'clock.
It's nice to him to make some time for us. I appreciate that.
It's crazy. How you been, man? Where the hell you been for the last month?
I've been working, dude, every day. Just about every day. I was working.
Fanatics Fest looked cool.
So cool. Amazing experience.
What happened? Like, do you see like Sauce Gardner or Revis or anybody?
Literally 30 minutes before the trade happened, actually, Kevin Durant walked by. I got to watch a little bit of the Kevin Hart CM Punk interview when they do the ice cold tub bath or whatever that was.
Right.
But for the most part, I was just mostly at the V-Friends booth working over there. So
Nice.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
A V-Man interview next week? I mean, I have to be
Might
trying
have
for
to
that.
happen.
Paul, call him whenever you want, man. I just did this night because like it's a really quiet time in the off season where it's not really a lot to talk about. And then when somebody demands to do an interview, I have no choice but to do it because I want Steve to get mad at me. So
you guys were live. Figured I had to say hello.
I appreciate it, man. It's just, hello, how are you? How's it going? Well, Primetime, give me some thoughts on the off season, man. What do you think about?
Hold on, let me just switch to my computer because my phone's about to die. So like,
Oh, for
second.
Christ's sake.
hold on, I'm right here. I'll just setting it up.
Is that why you kept looking up there?
Yeah.
We haven't talked football in a while.
All right.
Yeah, your phone had like that echo too.
Better now?
Yeah, much better.
All right. Now I'm good.
So give me some thoughts on the team, man. What are your thoughts on the way Aaron Glenn's handling things?
I'm trying to hop on board. I really am. I'm trying to get, just believe in change. I think he's sending the right message to the players, all the accountability talk. I think the players are buying in. You had 100% attendance, for the OTAs, which was good for mandatory minicamp. I hope they get something done with Garrett Wilson or Sauce or both of them. It seems like those two in particular are really buying in, which is good to see. So, I feel like that's just the first step, is establishing that culture, the accountability aspect. And then from there, I still think talent-wise, they're a little bit behind a lot of other teams. I don't expect them to be a playoff team. But if you have this offensive line healthy for a full 17 games and you get a little bit more out of Justin Fields than you got from Aaron Rodgers last year, there's no reason at all with better coaching that this team shouldn't be competitive in most of their games.
No, I love the way the players are buying in. I think it's a see like Garrett, Brees, Sauce, like those are ones like the guys that are in contract years or like having they're all buying it and they're all saying the same thing. Like, we've got to be better. We want to be here. They want to be leaders. It's impressive, man.
I just want to see it once they actually face some adversity, because we know it's going to happen this year. At some point, they're going to go through something. How does Aaron Glenn handle it? How do the players respond to how he handles it? How does Breece Hall handle it if he's not getting 20 touches a game in the contract year? Like, there's a lot of things that we got to see play out, like during the regular season, because right now he could say whatever he wants, and I think for the most part, the media and the players are going to be fine with it. But then once you're actually playing games and you're in the trenches and you go through a 2 or 3 game losing streak, then I think it maybe changes a little bit. So I want to see how he handles adversity, and then I feel like I can really gauge where the team is headed from there. But for right now, he's doing and saying all the right things.
I think Breece is the one. Breece is the one. I think Garrett and Sauce are both going to get paid. They're buying in. They're part of the team. They know they're part of the future. I think Quincy Williams gets an extension. I think Quincy Williams is going to be here for another couple of years. But Breece is the one because it's like legit contract year, and he's not going to be a bell cow running back. He's not going to get 30 carries a game.
But Quincy's going to get extended. The last time we talked, we said we can't pay 2 linebackers.
I think they do, because the way
I hope they do.
The way Aaron Glenn talked about him, the way they've been talking about each other, it seemed like they want to be like a leader, like a cornerstone of the defense. So they may say, you know what, give him another couple of years here to keep. Like, it just seems like they wanted to be like a big presence in the locker room.
And he's earned it too.
Dude, I'm not like I don't
more than any Jet in the last 10 years who has outplayed their contract the way he has.
No, dude, I just get that sense where initially I'm like, they can't pay 2 guys, but it seems like they want, because you know how we always said like Aaron Glenn's got to bring in his guys to be their voice and all this stuff. I get that feeling he's keeping the guys that are here and saying, listen, now you're gonna be like my captain or my voice on the field. So I get it. It's just my opinion. I don't know. Johnny Boy with a question to prime time. Thoughts on the offensive line might be the best the New York Jets have ever had.
Ooh. I mean, growing up, the Jets had some great offensive lines. I mean, led by Kevin Mawai. You had those lines with Jason Fabini and Kareem McKenzie, Randy Thomas, Ryan Young. Like, the Jets have had some really, really good. And then obviously and Mangold and Damian Woody. Like, they've had some really good offensive lines over the years. I think this one currently has the potential to be that, but they're also still very young. So I think they probably need a few weeks to, get that chemistry together. But you do have 4 or 5 starters returning. So,
I mean, there's a lot of potential, but there's also going to be some, they got to learn it. They got to learn the offense. They got to gel together, Membu. But I mean, to have bookend tackles that are this young with potentially young center too, that's the perfect way to do it.
Exciting, honestly.
Primetime and Tyson, do you believe this is the perfect test for this new Jets O-line going against Watt, Hayward, and Sawyer? They have some dogs in that D-line and Pitt. I love the matchup week 1. I absolutely love it. I love it. I love it because you know what? This is everybody wants this. Oh, Rodgers is going to blow us up. Rodgers going to throw 500 yards. This is your statement. Come out and play nasty, physical, tenacious defense and show you're not going to get pushed around. This is the perfect game to flex your muscle and say, no, but we're not your same old Jets. We're not going to get our asses kicked. We're not going to get mauled. We're going to play physical at home against a physical team. Like, they know what to expect now. Yeah. It's not they're getting blindsided. Like, oh, you're playing the Panthers week 1. What version of the Panthers? You know you're coming with a very motivated Pittsburgh team with Aaron Rodgers wanting his revenge for whatever reason. After we gave him everything he wanted. I mean, dude, I love this. I love it, dude. This is a statement game. I love it. I think it's great.
I agree that it's a great opportunity to make a statement. However, if they end up losing and Rodgers goes off, then how do they respond the following week against Buffalo? Is it like all the air out of the balloon that Steve was holding up before? I mean, I don't know.
No, either way, this is like the ultimate overreaction game. If the Jets win, they've arrived. If the Jets lose, they suck. And it's just one game. But like, I want them to compete and play a really physical, nasty game. And that's like, all right, especially at home, dude. Your home opener, like, don't come out flat. Don't come out disorganized, unprepared. You've had this entire offseason to prepare for this. You know what the Steelers are. Arthur Smith's still there. You know what Aaron Rodgers is. You just saw him in your fucking building for the last 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, there's no – I think it's great, man. And it's something that can motivate your team, too. Like, you're not getting a soft week 1 opponent. Like, listen, you've got to come up or,
or you're going to get it. Yeah.
So I love it.
I'm glad in a sense, I guess, that they're getting this game out of the way in week 1. So we don't have to hear about any of the Rodgers nonsense for the rest of the year. So in that aspect, I'm fine with it.
No, I like this offseason. It's quiet. Like there's some moves I think could still be made. Like the wide receiver position drives me crazy. I don't like it too much at all, but it's like you got to hope once training camp comes, they start tinkering around a little bit. Because the one, I think we talked about this a couple months ago. It's like, it's a very young team. And they're putting a premium on coaching, literally a premium on it, dude. Like, look at special teams, inexperienced punter, inexperienced kicker. Like, they have a lot of young people, like a lot of young players, or they're taking a chance on counting a lot of young guys to produce. Coaching, dude, coaching.
Did Steve give any takes on the new kicker that they just signed?
No, the thick one.
Yeah,
he did. He actually did. He said he doesn't like a fat kicker.
I saw that and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, I'm
Why
sure
not,
that's a
though?
good leg, but I mean,
Dude, he can smoke cigarettes, drink tequila. I don't care. Kick the ball straight. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
like Nigel Gruff from the Replacements or whatever it was.
Janikowski. Do you guys believe this might be the best wide receiver room that Justin Fields has had in his career?
I mean, aside from Garrett Wilson, what do we exactly have at wide receiver?
Yeah.
I mean, they're talking what about Reynolds being the number 2 right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, from a blocking standpoint, opposite Garrett Wilson, they could be fairly strong between him and Lazard. I think Corley still has some untapped potential if they could use him properly, but
if he can get healthy.
still very unproven.
I mean, Corley may not make the team, dude.
That would be nuts. I mean, I understand new regime; they're gonna go with their guys, but
The wide receiver group to me is disappointing as hell right now. Like I think the one like everybody's like kind of propping up Josh Reynolds. Where I respect the player, but like I still would add more there. I'd add tight end help because counting on Ruckert and Stone Smart, that's kind of risky too.
yeah, I do like Mason Taylor though.
Oh yeah, I'm happy about that. But overall, it's like it's a quiet off season. It's the team that's blue collar, gonna work hard. They're staying quiet. Just compete and see what happens. Like I think I really like Aaron Glenn's approach, dude. I think it's perfect just for his team. And the thing that the players always keep talking about is having former players on the coaching staff. They're all raving about that, dude. Like, listen, they've been there, done that. They know what they like. When they talk to me, I understand because they actually did it themselves. That's going a long way right now. Early on, with like the reviews from the players, they love it.
See it during the regular season.
I agree, but it's
my
also,
optimism is starting to go up a little bit as we're
it's like
closer.
if the thing that's interesting though is you read between the lines with a lot of it. You're seeing the subtle complaints about Saleh's staff, though. You're noticing a lot of them, dude. Where it's like attention to detail. There's no gray area. There's no like this firm schedule. Like you see all the things you're saying, like the things they love, which means it wasn't happening over the last couple of years. It's really interesting.
All things that we talked about for like the last 4 years.
But now it's coming out more and more. Like when they're giving compliments, it's kind of subtle, like shots at the former staff too, because like, oh yeah, like I knew exactly what I had to do in the offseason. I know exactly what I had to do to get ready. Like they gave me my things to work on. Like just, I mean, I don't know. It's crazy. This is the same Saleh that said he wasn't there to motivate players. Aaron Glenn's motivating players, man. Like and the other cool thing too is that
in a different kind of way though, which I like.
But he's also like very involved. Like every player says he's having one-on-one conversations with him. Like he's very like each person, offense, defense. Like there's not on offense. He's involved in the huddle. Like, he's literally in the huddle talking like do this, do that. That's a true CEO type head coach. That's not a guy. It's like when you went to practices, dude.
Yeah.
Like he sits over there with his arms just looking over. Like Aaron Glenn's hands on everywhere, which is it's good. I mean, is it going to work? Well, no, but at least when things go bad, he's going to take the blame for it because he's involved in it. He can't be like, well, I got to watch tape and talk to my coaches. No, you fucking know what's going on.
And I feel like he's also not afraid to say things that might ruffle a little feathers,
Oh,
but also at the
absolutely.
same time, the players are going to recognize that he's saying it because he wants me to improve as a player.
Yep. And that's the other thing too, is like if he's telling you what he expects and you don't do it, you're not going to play. And he could be like, this, I told you what you need to do. Like there's no like, this is the expectation. And they all talk about setting our standard. This is our standard that's expected from our team. If I don't meet that standard, and you hear Garrett Wilson talking about it, I got to be a better blocker. Brees is saying I can be like, they all say what they need to work on. Even Quentin Williams, it's like, I got to do this, I got to do that. Like it's in detail. It's not like no fluff and horseshit anymore.
Is there any part of you that wants to see, like what you just said, Garrett Wilson becoming a better blocker, Sauce actually willing to engage in tackling a little bit better? Is there any part of you that wants to see that first before handing out that big contract, especially new regime?
I think they're in a tough spot, dude, because they praised how they want to keep their own, like the young players, the young stars, and they know they're young stars. And you wonder to get Garrett Wilson's buy-in. Like, all right, listen, man, we'll get a deal done. Like, like we want you to emerge as our leader here. We'll take care of you. Like Sauce Gardner, we're gonna make you like, because it seems like they both seem like they know something's coming down the line, so that it's easier for them to buy in and be the vocal leaders that they want. So I don't know. I know what you're saying though. Like you want to see the work ethic, you want to see like how they handle adversity during the season and the offense, but I don't know.
Because if we're being honest or we're being fair, both of those players had not their best seasons.
I agree.
Last year, I felt like so, or at least as far as the leap that we wanted to see from year 2 to year 3.
100%. What's up, Ryan?
What's up, Ryan?
Do you see any possible additions being made prior to camp, or do you think the team will wait to add in needed areas after they see a little more out of current players?
I think they probably wait.
Yeah, I think they're going to wait. I thought after mandatory minicamp they'd make some moves, and they did. They cut kickers.
And they have what, like $38 million in cap space?
They can do whatever they want right now. But I mean, it just Wide receiver just bothers me. It does. I don't know why.
Did I
It's
see
just-
that contract right for Jari Alexander? Got like $6 million.
Yep.
I was talking to a Ravens fan the other day, and he was like, "Bro, like, what were you guys doing with that contract for Brandon Stevens?" Like, I've watched this guy every week for the last couple of years. Like, he's terrible. Like, at least his ball skills are terrible.
Yep. That's
You hope Aaron Glenn could, I guess, work with him there, but
expectations for Will McDonald in season 2. Would you like to see him force more fumbles, more sacks? What would you like to see more from? I want to see a well-rounded player. Be good against the run, be good against the pass, be consistent. He put on 15 pounds, apparently. Don't lose that speed. Don't lose that explosiveness. And he's going to be counting on a lot, dude, because Jermaine Johnson's not going to be he's going to be ready, apparently ready week 1. But he's not going to play like the same amount of snaps. He's going to work him in slowly. So a lot of pressure on Will
Isn't this year
McDonald.
3 for Will McDonald?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's got to put
Consistency, better against the run. I feel like in general, the defense is very small, and that's why they've kind of gotten pushed around against the run. So I
Yep.
feel like everybody's got to kind of step up in that area.
But the pass rush can be interesting, though, especially with, it's like you got to find ways to do it. I know Rashad Weaver's coming on. They drafted a kid, but you got to get kind of creative there.
Yep.
Will
Makes it a lot
will NYJF ever come back?
Most likely not.
Oh,
That's probably done. I mean, if they start getting good, we could probably do a couple shows. But
if they start getting good, what in the
well,
world?
my schedule also. I mean, there's some nights where I'm not getting home from the city until like 2 a.m. So my schedule is all over the place lately.
Oh my goodness. Let's see. Well, look at players respect AG for telling them what they need to hear, unlike Sal, who is everyone's best friend. That's been the overwhelming feedback, man. They respect it. I think they want to be coached hard too, which is good.
That's how you earn that respect.
Yep. Don't forget the Jordan catch last year by Garrett. That
was
catch was
good.
incredible.
That was great.
No, I mean, you figure Garrett's been through a lot, man. All the revolving door at at quarterback. It's just he's been through a lot. Losing, the weird offenses, bad play calling, and I think now this is his time to be like this big star on the team. And I like that the Jets are saying that we want to feed him the football. We're not even gonna lie about it. Like you are, like the way like Devontae Adams came here and got every pass. You're now that guy for us. Like we're gonna feature you, which they should.
But now once he starts getting doubled, then what? Who else is going to step up and emerge? Can he still beat the doubles? Like
Mason Taylor.
or Brees?
Brees, could be Brees. After that, I have no idea. Who is going to SummerSlam at MetLife? Not me.
Not me. I was at UFC 316 though. That was pretty cool.
You saw your boy Sugar get his ass beat.
So sad.
Marab mauled him.
I know.
That was so predictable, man. I saw that
I
shit
know.
coming.
I had a feeling that was going to happen, but I was glad to be there anyway. It was fun.
Great card though. It was fun to watch.
Neil Harrison was badass.
She's a beast, dude. She's an absolute beast. What do you do for work right now, prime time? I'm looking for work. Lost my job today. Oh, sorry about that.
Sorry to hear that, James. Yeah, I've been with V Friends for the last 7 months, and yeah, if you guys want to actually chat, I'm doing like live streams pretty much every day now. So if you download Whatnot, search V Friends. Usually throughout the day, I've got like 1 or 2 shows that I'm doing. So tune in.
What the hell's Whatnot?
It's like a live selling app, basically, like where we rip cards and sell collectibles, things like that. I was live for like 4.5 hours this afternoon.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Your thoughts on the Mets collapsing?
My thoughts are that it's only June and the Mets are still in first place. Soto's getting hot. Once pitching gets healthy, I think they're going to be okay.
They're in first place? I thought the Phillies were in first place.
I thought we were still in first.
I don't think today they weren't.
Really?
The Mets lost last night, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
But the Phillies were in first place.
You might be right. I've watched maybe 2 games in the last like week.
So now I have a theory with this. The question is, why is Michael Clemens still on this team? I figured he would have been cut by now. Now, I don't like Michael Clemens either because of all the penalties and just all the things that we know about. We don't like him. Is there a part of you that thinks that maybe Aaron Glenn's approach to defense, his hard notes approach and everything else could maybe get through to him and make him a different style player? And that's why they're keeping him for now, like depth and saying, you know what, he's got something that we could work with. Steve Wilkes, Aaron Glenn, let's give him a shot in our scheme.
I mean, what has he really shown since he's been here? Other than
His rookie year, he showed some things. It's been ever downhill since he put on weight.
I mean, they're just. I think they're so thin on the defensive line, and he's not making a ton of money that it doesn't hurt bringing him to training camp. But I mean, to think that once cuts are done, that the Jets aren't going to be able to upgrade from him, I think that's absurd. I mean, there's got to be an upgrade out there. So
Mets are in second place.
great. They're going to be all right.
Do you have a prediction for the Knicks head coach?
I thought it was going to be Johnny Bryant, but I don't know what's taking so long. Seems like they're getting denied talking to everybody. I didn't want to see Thibodeau go.
Me
I've
neither.
spoken with a lot of people that know basketball a lot more than I do that think it was the right move. I'm like, all right, well, who are you bringing in now? So
It's only the right move. You get an upgrade.
exactly.
Like if you knew like, all right, we're gonna fire him, then get this guy, and we knew exactly who he was, and you hire him,
Yeah.
great. But if you go through getting turned down by endless coaches, it looks like you have no idea what the fuck you're doing. And now it's like, I think it's gonna be Jason Kidd somehow, but I don't know.
Like imagine Thibodeau did what he did with the Knicks with the Jets, where every single year you got better and you were a series away from going to the championship, and then you fire the coach. Like
It just makes no sense to me. Like you'd have to have like it's like you'd fire like if that was like a Jet scenario, you fire him for like a Sean Payton, or like you fire like all right, you go from him to like that great.
somebody
you don't
that
go.
you know is going to get you to the next level.
Yeah, you don't go from Thibodeau to some guy that's like a retread. That's like I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just it makes no sense to me at all. I'm so and like what free agency starts what like the draft's coming up. Free agency's like 2 weeks away. They have no coach. It's
I mean, I don't even think they're going to be major players in free agency anyway, right? Like, what money do they have to even work
yeah.
with?
What you got? What are you gonna do? You gonna resign what's his face? Mikal Bridges, give him a new big fat contract.
Kind of have to. You gave up 5 first-round picks for him. What other choice do they have?
Ridiculous. I did not. I followed some of the NHL playoffs for a little bit, but nothing crazy.
I mean, the Rangers weren't in it, so my interest was pretty minimal.
And let's see. Yeah, five draft picks for Bridges, completely crazy.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's not really a lot going on, man. Like it's a quiet off season. It's like just stay out of trouble, stay healthy. They get contracts done, cool. If not, training camp gets a little more interesting because then it's like now I think the contract talk starts a little bit. But
Just stay drama free until training camp and through training camp.
do you miss Rod? Do you still miss Rodgers or no?
If I'm going to give you an honest take, I still would have liked to have seen him as the quarterback of this team for another year, but I'm trying to stay optimistic on Fields. Obviously, you got the younger quarterback who's got plenty of upside, who could be here in theory for the next 10 years if he starts to figure it out. I just think that if you wanted to establish this regime on a winning note, he would give you the best chance to do that. But
Well, I got 2 things.
Yeah.
Now, but seeing how late it took Rodgers to sign with the Steelers, if he stayed with the Jets and then missed all of OTAs or you missed all the OTAs and they only show up to mandatory
well, then I
minicamp,
would have been out. Yeah, if it was going to be that saga where, I'm not sure, I might retire, I don't know what I want to do yet, then yeah, absolutely, you move on. But if he was giving the Jets a definitive, I want to be here, I want to play right away, like when he took that meeting with Glenn where they shut him out in 15 minutes, then I would have said, you know what, let's go, let's do it. Let's do it for one more year.
yeah, if he was going to say, I want to come back, but I'm going to miss all of OTAs, I'm going to do this and that. I'm like, I'm out. Like, dude,
Oh,
you
yeah.
got to be like,
I would
you
say
have the
the
whole-
same thing.
when the whole team's been. And now, what are your thoughts on Fields so far? Obviously, the play on the field I really don't care about because you can't really judge. But he's like a silent leader. He's like it seems like the players like him a lot.
I can't judge anything until I see the GoPro footage.
You see, looking over there, like
That's the new thing now, right?
the GoPro. I love it, dude. I think it's great. No, I think but I like the way he presents himself, dude. He's very calm, very even keeled. No big headlines, just like hard work. And the players seem to gravitate to him. They all seem like they like the way he like handles his business.
No, absolutely. I'm trying to buy in. I've always been a fan of him. I wanted him back in the 2021 draft. I didn't want anything to do with Zach Wilson. I was a huge fan of Fields coming out of college. I think he's got a lot to figure out as far as just, being a passer and not just a running quarterback. But I do think he brings a different dynamic to the Jets offense that we really haven't had in a while. So if he could start to make those improvements, I think he could be here for a little while.
Yeah. Do you guys miss Ulbrich? I don't.
I'm good.
I have no problem. Like I'm interested. Like in Steve Wilkes, we kind of know what he is, and Glenn Tanner Engstrand's really an interesting guy. Like he's very well spoken, seems like he's very detail oriented. he seems like he seems like a head coach in waiting. He seems like the way he talks and presents himself. He seems like he's just like he's gonna be here like 2 years and be gone. Like I don't think he's gonna be here long.
That would be a good problem if that happened.
Yeah, as long as you groom somebody underneath him.
Yeah, but it would also mean that the offense was pretty successful for.
Oh, 100%. No, it's smooth sound right now. Like I'm just excited, man. Just like it's a new era. It's quiet. Everybody's buying in and even Woody Johnson bought a soccer team now. So now he's gonna be distracted. Maybe it's less season.
When I first saw the tweet pop up that Woody Johnson, I'm like, did he sell? And he just purchased something else. I'm like, for a split second, I get all the Schefter alerts.
Yeah.
For a second, I was like, maybe.
Yeah. So he's be distracted now and won't bother the Jets will be good. So that's it.
Yeah. New toy to play with.
So now, are you married with 4 kids by now?
Nope. Single. Just working.
It's a good time to be single, man. Summertime in the Jersey Shore.
That's true. I haven't gone down the shore yet.
It's so hot, dude. This weekend was hot as hell,
I'm sweating right now.
bro. Today, tomorrow, and Wednesday are gonna be like over 100.
Yeah.
It's like,
City was brutal today.
see, is there air conditioning on the train? There is, right?
Yeah.
I'd be dying, dude. Just to walk the train, I'd be dying.
Inside Penn Station, though, where I was waiting for the train that was delayed 30 minutes tonight, there was no AC.
Was everybody just melting?
Pretty much, yeah. And almost
That's
every train was delayed. Like there was some Amtrak signal issues. So like every train was like 30 minutes late. People were sweating, like doing the fan to themselves. Like they had people like handing out waters and stuff. It was
that stink too, right?
it was gross. It was
Oh,
gross.
I just get drunk.
Even the train was
Is there anything else we have to cover? I mean, there's not a lot to talk about, dude. It's like kind of quiet right now. Anything you want to cover?
I don't think so.
You just called to bother Steve.
Pretty much.
Oh,
I missed the chat. I feel like I haven't talked to everybody in a while. So.
It's been a month.
I know.
That's nothing to talk about, dude. Like I haven't really doing a lot of content. I do like a video here and there because I don't want to force anything. There's nothing to talk about. Like
If there's legitimate news, I'll always post a video. But like,
there's
I'm not
nothing,
trying to
dude.
force anything right now. There's really nothing going on.
Is Woody being involved with that football team possibly good for the Jets? I think so.
I hope so.
Just keep him out of here, man. Tomorrow is going to be the hottest day in 13 years.
Awesome.
It's like 102 or something like that. Like with the heat index, like 110 or some craziness. It's just wild, man.
Good times.
And that's it. I guess let's see. What team did Woody buy?
Forget the name. Yeah, it was some soccer team.
Some soccer team. Yeah.
I don't follow soccer.
What receiver would you like to sign? Everybody's saying the same thing. Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen.
Would they want to come here?
Maybe call the Packers, make a trade. They got a very crowded room. So you never know. Do you guys believe that? No. Believe that Arian Smith will be wide receiver 2?
I don't think they're going to have a proven number 2 guy, or at least a consistent number 2 guy. I think a lot of it's going to be dictated by what the play call is. Not that you want to be predictable, but I think you're going to see a lot of Lazard and Reynolds on running plays and a lot of Arian Smith when you want to stretch the field and take some attention away from Garrett.
You think he's going to have he probably have packages early on, like kind of package where you feature him?
Yeah,
he's not going
to do. Instead of the bullshit that we've seen over the last number of years where you want all these guys to learn every single position before they play, like have 20, 25 plays that he could be great at, that he knows what he's supposed to do, and just let him thrive in that and then increase his role as you go.
And give him some confidence too. Like, all right, you're good at this. Now we could expand your route tree a little bit. Like you can grow as a player. As opposed to just okay.
I'm still not giving up on Corley yet either. I mean,
he's got it. Well, dude, what I like about the Jets coaching staff is they asked Tanner Engstrand about Corley. He's like, he's got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah.
He's been hurt. And not like, oh, we're encouraged. Like, no, we got to see what he can do. We don't know what he can do. He's been hurt. I love that, dude. Yeah. It's like we're not fluffing nobody anymore. It's perfect. But we'll see. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Somehow this is an hour and a half. I don't know how. I was going to do Steve for a half hour, and he kept talking. So, and then the best thing with Steve was he's like talking about Justin Fields. He's like, yeah, I didn't like his game coming out of college. And then he
like about it.
So then he went to, but I did see him come play against Rutgers, and the offense lit it up. I'm like, well, if you watch him in person light up your team, why would you not like him as a player?
And the championship game that he played in, like, he was
amazing,
phenomenal in that. He took hits. He got injured. I mean,
he played hurt with like bruised ribs.
Actually. Yeah, we streamed that.
It was. I was just like, I was dying. My eyes were teared up.
He was a beast in college.
Yeah, he was really good. And I'm like, did you whose game did you like better in college, Zach Wilson or Justin Fields? He's like, well, when you watch the tape, my bro, it's not even close. There were light years different players in college. Light years different. It wasn't even on the same page.
No. Going into that COVID year, Zach was what, like a 5th round prospect?
Yep.
And he just shot up the boards out of nowhere.
I don't think he's signed yet. I don't think Mason Taylor signed yet. Because I think there's something with the top of the second round, everybody getting guaranteed money. So there's some kind of changes going on, and it's kind of trickling down then. So but that's interesting, though. It's kind of dragging out. So, well, other than that, prime time, good seeing you. Thank you guys for joining us. We're just doing random streams right now until training camp starts, which is another month away. So we still got a long ways to go. So we'll talk to you guys later.
Have a good night.
I gotta try.